Yeah, this was a great win by the guys. I've been really pushing them hard and trying to get them in the mindset of being winners, and then winners become champions. And tonight, we did a pretty good job of, from start to finish, on doing some really good things, having 21 assists, 40 rebounds, 6 guys in double figures, and 44 bench points. All of that is healthy. We just got to continue to play defense and rebound and stay together.
And you were a little depleted tonight. No Curtis, no Ashton. Julius leaves in the first half. How's he doing?
He didn't seem like he was laboring, but the day after is usually a little worse, so we'll have to wait until tomorrow morning to find out.
And then Ashton, he has a problem?
Thigh bruise.
Oh, okay. Is he long-term?
I'm sorry, Ashton is knee, Curtis is thigh bruise.
And then wanted to ask about Aaron Bradshaw didn't play tonight. Is he hurt?
Yeah, coach's decision.
Okay. And Tierno?
Yeah, coach's decision.
Jerry.
Hey, Penny, it seems like the team's flowing a little bit better. Is they're heading in the direction you want them to be heading in right now?
Yeah, it's getting better. Obviously, we're trying to get the chemistry down, getting 5 guys on the floor at one time, doing the same thing at a very high level has been a challenge for us early, but they're starting to get it. And you're starting to see the guys are carrying more, and we're putting the pressure on them to come out and do so, and you're starting to see the numbers from that.
Coach, you guys had 21 assists tonight. The ball movement was really good. You guys limited turnovers as well. Can you just speak about how that really just helped the offense flow all game?
Yeah, I went back to one of my older offenses that I ran that has been so good for me over the years. For whatever reason, I started off allowing guys to do a bunch of ball screens and play with freedom, and it never works. And then I'll end up going back to the bread and butter of what I really feel like we should be doing. And that gets the ball from the strong side to the weak side, back to the strong side. And it gets you layups, it gets you open looks. And when you got high percentage shots, looks at the basket, those tend to go in more than the one pass, no dribble penetration shots that start the fast break for the other team. So tonight we ran offense more than we have ran it, but all week we were just working on 5-on-0. 5-on-5 and 5-on-0, just really scrimmaging a lot, working on our offense.
Coach, we talked to Master P, the assistant coach from New Orleans, the director of basketball operations. We talked to him earlier. He said your relationship dating back in the early 90s, 2000s. Yeah. What is your relationship now? How cool was it to see him kind of on the sideline from New Orleans?
No, I think it's great. Being back in New Orleans, in his hometown, in a role at the University of New Orleans, and still be a mogul and a hero to a lot of guys. Have a lot of respect and a lot of love for P. For him to even be given that amount of time to those young men in that university is pretty cool. It's great to see. And he'll always be one of my favorite guys.
Penny, you harped on the point about kind of effort and energy, again, on pregame radio, and to Greg Gaston, the interview you did before the game. What's that looked like just throughout the course of the past few weeks? Has it gotten any better, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think what's happened is some guys just think that they're going harder than what they are, but they're just standing here in Memphis for us and the level that we want to play at. So we've been showing more film and then showing guys where they're lacking, and when they do it well, we show them both sides of it. This is when you're doing really well. This is when you look like you're bored. It looks like you're in hybrid mode. You're shutting down, and we can't do that. We're trying to get a consistent group of young men to understand that it's all out every single possession, and then when you need a rest, just raise your hand and come out of the game. And we know that's what every coach's cry around the country is, that they can't get consistency of guys just going all out, while they're on the floor, and then asking for a rest. So that's the bar we've given them. Whether that's realistic or not, that's what we're pushing for, to get out of this hole, because we've dug ourselves a hole.
And can you say, is it that bar not being met the reason why Aaron didn't play and by Tierno, played 2 minutes?
Well, yes and no. I think that it's a multitude of things, but yeah, if guys aren't on the floor, that means that they're not giving everything. If they're not starting, they're not giving everything. We're giving the guys a chance to get on the floor to put a product that the team, the university, and the city will be proud of, just playing as hard as they can play and having some grit and toughness. And those are the guys that we're going with. and we're asking everyone else when you get your opportunity to do the same.
You were, as we mentioned before, you were depleted. You had guys missing, but it did create shorter rotation. Only used 9 guys there for the majority of the first half, where you got into the big lead. So, did having less tools in the toolbox, did that help with the flow in any way?
Absolutely, it did, for sure, because we have a lot of depth on our team, and having guys injured really gave us an opportunity to shorten the rotation in the first half and play the guys that we felt like we're going to go out there and, be at a high level mentally and physically, and it helped.
You had 6 double-digit scores, 21 assists, as you said at the top. When you say that the team needs to have more fun, needs to play looser, that kind of stuff, is that what you're talking about? Is that what it looks like?
It does look like that, because when you share the ball like that, there's no way that it's not going to be contagious and keep everyone happy. Everyone was definitely happy. We had a 20-point lead at halftime. We held them to 28 points, and we were feeling really good about ourselves. But you have to be able to repeat that if you want to be champions, if you want to continue to play at a high level and be respected as one of the better teams. You're going to have to be able to repeat that in both halves.
Coach, we're going left, Tim.
Considering that it's December now, and especially considering what you have coming up schedule-wise, how confident are you that you'll be able to get what you anticipated rolling with together during this stretch and before conference play? Or are you going to have to and are you in the middle of changing your mindset of what you want to do personnel-wise compared to what expectations were when you put this team together?
Yeah, that's really a good question, because you want to shorten the rotation, but our strength is our depth. You really want 7 guys really to be like, we're locked in, coach. We're going to do everything we need to do on both ends of the floor, and make it really easy for you to just be like, these are the 7 we're going to go with. But then there's another 4 or 5 over there that are looking like, hey, we can help you as well. And you give them an opportunity to help you as well. So my mindset understands that depth is definitely needed, but you got to give a certain group some rhythm, and give a certain group the amount of time to get better and to grow, because they are still new. And unfortunately for the injuries, but fortunate for the injuries, that we can actually play a group that we thought that was going to give us that level, and it worked out today.
In the middle, Sam, and then Landon.
The Tigers set a season high in first half score tonight with 48 and a season high total with 86 tonight. What was different about the game plan or the flow that allowed y'all to be able to get this big scoring total?
I think the game plan was being more locked in on doing the necessary things that we're asking them to do every single day, just being locked in on that. Don't worry about getting shots, don't worry about getting minutes, maximize your minutes. And then offensively, we really worked a lot on 5-on-0 and really competing all week. We usually do a bunch of drill work. We're trying to get prepared to get ourselves in position. This week was more about basketball, and that's where it's going to be, because we have to move on. If someone's not ready and understanding what we're trying to do, they'll have to catch up. So this week was mostly about 5-on-0, really zoom focus on what we wanted out of our offense and why we were running certain things, and that really helped us today.
Last 2 for Coach. Landon,
with all the depth, obviously, you said you have, are the rotations something that you would change on a matchup-to-matchup basis, or is there a group that you want to settle on for the entirety of the season?
Obviously, it would be great to settle on a group, because that's the group that is going to be out there every single day. But when I went to the Bahamas, I went with a matchup lineup. I went with a much bigger lineup. I had Doug, and then I went to Zach, Ashton, and then 2 bigs to try to offset Purdue's size inside. We tried to be bigger guards, over Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer. So it definitely was working until, we got cramps, and then we got the technical. We're up 2 points with 7 minutes to go, and obviously should have won the Wake Forest game. We kind of gave that game away. But today's lineup was more, these are the guys that are going to do exactly what we say, going to go at a high level, going to play to exhaustion, and then ask to come out, and that worked.
Penny, obviously starting Saturday, you got a stretch of 4 games that could, allow you to build some sort of at-large resume for that NCAA tournament. How do you assess the readiness of this group going into that crucial, 2-3 week stretch, whatever it is?
I don't think we're there yet to be dominant in these 4 games. We're there to be able to win those games, but we have to do things the right way. I think as we keep pushing, we're going in the right direction now. We're going in the right direction. I think guys are starting to understand that the time is now, and that we have to stay locked in on game plan discipline, personnel of the other team, and understanding what makes us great offensively. And if we stick with that, with rebounding the ball at a high level, we should put ourselves in a good situation for at large.
I'll take one more if anyone's got anything direct about Baylor.
Yeah. Kenny, you know him a lot well. You know how well he played and how hard his guys are going to do. What do you say to your team to prepare them for his intensity with that team?
Yeah, for us, it's about us. I think that we have a standard and a bar that we have set. Obviously, Coach Drew has done a championship coach, won a national championship, has done a phenomenal job at Baylor, switching defenses, putting pressure, going zone, doing a multitude of things once they find out who you are. And they'll put you to the test because everything that you're not good at, that's what they're going to try to force you into, going into the game. So it's going to be a challenge, but we're at home. We'll be prepared. And I have all the confidence that our guys understand the magnitude of this game. And it does help that Doug has played against Baylor last year. Even though they're a different team, just understanding that when your point guard has already played against a coach, understand the mindset, then he can kind of help give the other guys some advice. But at the end of the day, you still got to go play and you got to go fight.